Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over teams for the new Gems of War Mythic of Ubastet. He just ended up coming in earlier today. He's available in Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests for the rest of this week, all the way until next Friday reset, so if you're interested in getting him, he'll be available until then. Other than that, he is a pretty good Mythic to go and try to seek out. As far as what he does, he's pretty good at double killing, essentially. He deals an amount of damage to the two weakest enemies. Weakest is determined by whichever two enemies have the lowest HP plus armor combined. So if they have 50 armor and 60 HP, that would be 110 durability, and so on and so forth. You just add that up for every single thing on the enemy team, and whichever two are the lowest HP plus armor combo is the two that it would end up hitting. And its boost ratio based on all attack in play. So let's say there's about an average of a 30 attack average within the battle. Since you have a 4-to-1 boost ratio on both the teams, and every single one is averaged to about 30, that'd be about 60 additional damage. So in this case, this late in the game, he'd be hitting about an 80, though of course that'd be quite a bit lower earlier on in the game, but still, regardless, due to this 4-to-1 boost ratio based on every single troop in the game, not only your allies, but the enemies, this will help to boost up his damage, particularly if you're up against harder battles. This will be particularly good in early to mid-game as well, when you're fighting battles that are a little bit too strong for you to really be able to kill, because the instant kill will hit through every single player-owned trait. It won't work for things like invasions and raids, as every invasion troop of the towers has immune to this instant kill, as well as the raid boss is immune to this instant kill. But currently, everything that a player can own will die to the instant kill capability on his second hit. So as long as he gets one kill, he will instantly kill the other one out as well, which is really nice. Other than that, he has a Fiery Death, which is the exact same trait that a Infernus has, one of the things that makes Infernus better. So really nice there. And other than that, he has the one attack and one magic to all Rashkas per turn. This is a really good bonus, both of which are the two offensive stats. Unfortunately, there aren't really too many Rashkas that synergize with this, though it does apply to himself due to being a Rashka. So if nothing else, at least he's getting that bonus. So we're going to be showing a couple different teams from different range, everything from really cheap to mid-range. This is one more of a mid-range one with an Alchemist Moneylender combo. Used this quite a few times, still very, very relevant in pretty much everything. We're basically going to be utilizing the Fairy Fire that we're able to create off of every extra turn we do to be able to go and essentially just instant one-shot his ability. We're currently using the Lantern Banner, I believe it's called, which is the one from Shantang, basically to allow us to get the +2 yellow, +1 red that we need, to have a total +2 red, +2 yellow, which basically will allow us to rush up our Alchemist as quickly as possible into our Moneylender, into the win, ideally. So he'll go do that. We'll want to go convert something that we don't need, so in this case, a bunch of yellow. We now have the capability to go use Moneylender, though unfortunately we don't really have that many to convert on the board, or not enough reds on the board, so it's going to go do that. Still not enough reds, could definitely go and cast if we wanted to. We have this ability, though it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. I would have to get a Fairy Fire on it, and I believe it actually has immune to that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it does. It actually does have immune to Fairy Fire, and it feels like we keep hitting it every single time. But I believe that is enough damage now, so as you can see, we knocked it down to a 78. So what we could just go do now is go for this kill, and it will automatically instantly kill the other one, though I think due to the Fairy Fire, that actually would have been enough damage regardless. We'll go through one of these down, try getting them into range again, and as long as we get the Fairy Fire down, that should be enough damage that we just cycle through them again. As you saw, we didn't actually get the damage for the Mercy to be able to kill her, but because we killed the Infernus, it automatically kills the other one. So, yeah, it works out pretty nice. And that's that team. Let's go into the cheaper team now and see what this can do. Oh, we're up against goblins! Ha! It's kind of funny because we're using a goblin too. This is a super cheap team. If you don't have Gorgolfa, you can actually replace this with a second goblin, or really any frontline tank if you want. I am personally using a Gorgolfa right now, which does make the team a little bit more expensive, but this would be the cheap team if you were to go replace this with a goblin or a lesser frontline tank, like maybe a Lava Elementor or something. But essentially, what we're doing here is a goblin, Azura into Ubastet. This is the entire team right there. It may be weird that we're using a goblin. He's the first troop you pretty much ever get in the game, or one of the first few, but he's actually insanely good in this context. He does a small amount of damage to a single target and then automatically gains an extra turn. This is good because you can lower down any troop you want in order to bring it into kill range for his ability, so that you automatically kill out the other troop. We have Azura here. While we will be reducing their attack sum, it doesn't really matter too much, as we'll be able to get a huge amount of mana generation. This is also the cheapest or easiest to obtain mana generator that you can really get within the game. You get it from completing out the Merlantis questline, and you'll get her a copy for free. She's an epic, so she's hard to trait, but you don't actually need any of her traits. As far as traits are concerned, you actually don't need traits on a single troop here. We're just using Gorgolfa just because it has 75% reduction, and it being able to keep our team alive will make sure that we will not lose any of our attack, because you do have to keep in mind, every single time anything dies, he starts losing damage. So I've been actually avoiding really using skull spam with him. I was trying it some earlier, but it wasn't really working out due to the fact that even though you might be gaining attack if you're doing like a Courage, skull spam, humility, or anything like that, the biggest problem with it, even if you are gaining attack value, is you're just destroying as much as you're really gaining, because you keep hitting and killing out enemies. So I wasn't really caring for it too much, but we'll go take this, go get Azura up immediately, especially if you don't have the Gorgulfa there. You can pretty much just ignore that. One thing that is pretty nice, if you do happen to be able to use a Gorgulfa there though, is you can just explode into full mana and then just do it again. Of course you'd be 1 mana short, luckily. Azura got all of our mana back, and you basically just keep doing that. Use the Goblin on the biggest threat on the opposing team. In this case, that is pretty much everything, but let's go, I guess, for the higher HP buffing Goblin. Ideally, we'd also have his ability right now. 1 mana short, but we'll just go throw a Gorgulfa for that, or we could have just manually taken his mana. Got lucky enough to automatically get that turn there. So this is definitely way more than enough to be able to kill it. So we'll go for that right now. If it would click, get that, get the double kill, and you just do that again. Figure out what the next biggest target is, or well, that's the only thing we can target. So we'll go for that. Get Azura down, get his mana up a little bit more. If you happen to have a Gorgulfa, use the Gorgulfa. Otherwise, just swipe one of his colors that he needs, and then we just double kill it again. And that's pretty much the team. As far as this Mythic is concerned, definitely one that you should be going for, or at least attempting. He's not one of the absolute best Mythics in the game, but he is definitely the best Mythic that has been released all year, that is for sure. So let's go take our revenge battle and do it with the last team here. It's a pretty standard Divine team, except this time we are using a, instead of a Diviner, or we are using a Ubastet basically within the composition. So we have Divine Ishbala here. The main purpose for this is for the 50% mana start. We could also put her up further into the team if we wanted to, even in second slot, in order to give her red mana generation, though I prefer just using her in the back. But you could use her more so for Skull Spam and the mana generation. Biggest issue with this, of course, as I was mentioning earlier, Skull Spam I've been kind of hesitating to really use with this, because if you keep killing out the enemy, you're reducing out its damage more than you're really even helping. So we're just going to be doing a standard Mercy, get the Empowered immediately into a Convert of yellow, the purple to yellow. This will get us our Infernus, we then throw Infernus, we then throw Ubastet. Infernus, what we'll be able to hit is pretty random, since it's just completely randomly hits as it goes down. But ideally, we'll end up hitting something that we need to kill out, and I also will ideally get that right off the board, get a really, really quick start. As you can see, we already have all of our mana immediately. Doesn't always happen, but when that does, that is very, very nice. So I know what I just said, but I will go for that just because that does knock it down exactly into kill range. So now we'll just go directly into that kill, just so we don't have to cast Infernus yet. We'll go to that. He should have a Skull Distract here. He actually is playing. He has like 3 Skull Distracts, so that'll keep him busy for a little while. Actually, before I do, let me go grab this. Good, that doesn't kill him. Burn would next turn, but I don't want to overkill him like that. So we'll go and go for the double kill now. Actually, did we go for the Skull? And you know what? Yeah, we'll just double kill it. So we'll go for that. Double kill that. Throw the Infernus. Double kill again. Dead. Don't have any converts here that are worth going for, because this doesn't currently have alignment. We would get a decent amount of mana, but we'll throw Infernus. This should hopefully give us alignment on the board. Or we'll just extra turn right into Infernus. That works too. Looks like we might not be able to get another cast simply because we're already going to apply so much damage before we even get to do it. So we'll go and I guess let's throw a second Infernus, and then we'll probably be able to clean up with Divine Ishbala at this point, or just take that Skull. Sure, that works too. And yeah, that is that. That is the new Mythic. And he is definitely very high up there. Probably one of my favorite things in the entire game to use. Let me go use the cheap team again. Actually, let me go show it even cheaper this time, since I actually ran through really quick. So let me go use this with the cheapest that you can possibly build. This would be literally the cheapest team you can make out of this. There isn't any way to really make it cheaper than this. It's 2 goblins, one copy of which you already start off with, and the other one's a common, so it wouldn't take you that long to get the second one. Ideally fully traded, though not really that big a deal. It does make his his green generation a little bit easier. Azura you get for free from Rolantis. You set your banner to blue-purple so you can 2 to 3 turn your Azura, just so it goes a little bit quicker. And of course the Ubastet, which is the Mythic that just came into the game. So 2 commons, one of which you start off with when you immediately start, and Azura, which you get for free from Rolantis. So really easy to obtain, something that absolutely everyone can have if you own an Ubastet, of course. Of course, getting the Ubastet's the big problem, but assuming you already have the Ubastet, this would be the cheapest possible option. So let's go show it with this. So right off the bat, pretty much they play the same way. Go for Azura first and just keep mana generating. The only thing we don't have, there's 2 things that we don't have. We don't have a proper frontline tank, and we don't have a way to keep our mana generation going a little bit better, because Azura isn't always capable of just soloing, especially when there's not too many blues on the board, especially if the enemy has something to counter out the blues specifically as well. But seems to be okay so far. We are 1 mana short. That's a little unfortunate, but I believe we can poke into the kill here. So we can see that this one's the lowest, so I believe I'm just going to go all in on this just to guarantee that we do get the kill here. So I'm going to go do that, get the double kill here, and as you can see, we didn't do enough damage to him, but the pick-off will instantly get it. So that ends up working out. Off his automatic insta-kill. What we're going to want to do now is get Azura up, get the next stat reduction. Hopefully it'll HP or armor reduce this, HP being slightly better. And we'll get some of our goblins up by doing so. HP, exactly what we needed right there. And ideally he'd have full mana. I believe that's already the win if he did. But, oh, we can't goblin that because that's stealthy. So I'm just going to have to cast another Azura, get the last little bit of our mana. We attack reduced both of them, which is somewhat unfortunate. Of course, his boost ratio is based on how much attack there is. If you really had to, you could calculate how much, at this point, how much HP or how much durability is on both of them. Or how much attack is in play right now, and just count up every single number to see if you would have enough damage here. And because I'm not fully certain, and I'm not going to take the time to go do that right now, we'll just poke it with a skull and then kill it out that way, just to make sure we guarantee have that. But if you're in something like Guild Wars or some other kind of game mode where sigils matter or anything like that, or where your score mattered, you would probably want to count everything up just to make sure that it is indeed enough damage. But of course, for PvP, you would want to avoid as much as possible, because the more time you spend just trying to calculate that out could have been just time that you're just wailing them with damage. But yeah, that's every single version that I've been using pretty much of the new Mythic. Definitely very fun to use, and I would advise at least attempting for it. I wouldn't bother throwing gems of any kind towards it, but if you have a bunch of spare gem keys and maybe even some glory keys, it's definitely worth at least attempting. But anyways, guys, if you still have any other questions about the new Mythic or anything, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Best of luck if you're going to be trying for the new Mythic. Goodbye, everyone!